Okay guys, today we're going to talk about mini band walks and a lot of the issues I see with that. And really it comes back to the same thing you see with deadlifts, squats, lunges, anything that's lower body. People have a hard time visualizing the concept of externally rotating the femurs but keeping a nice stable foot on the ground, creating that torsion at the hip. A lot of times you'll hear knees out and people end up rolling their ankle, really trying to put the knee outside the foot like that, but that's not really what the goal is. When you hear knees out, what that means is you want to push your knee out from the hip. You're creating external rotation. Turn the glute on, get the hip to fire, stabilize your hip, make you more powerful. A popular way to do that is with these mini bands. These perform better. I think these are probably the best ones. And what you see a lot of is around the ankle, around above the knee, under the knee, around the ankle, around the toes even. It doesn't really matter. Different parts of the glute, it activates preferentially, but it's all basically the same thing. So what's common is you'll see people do these and they allow themselves to collapse. You can see right here the band wants to pull me inward. Well, if I've collapsed down, I've already internally rotated my femurs. So the whole goal of this exercise is to put my big toe on the floor, feet nice and stable, not to lift my big toe up. Big toe on the floor, feet nice and stable, externally rotate against the band. Now I've already turned my glute on and I've created an arch. This is where we would want to be squatting, deadlifting, lunging from. When I move, I want to maintain that consistency. I tell people maintain that box. So what's a common thing is you'll see them collapse the foot, lead with the foot, and you'll feel that IT band, TFL, that'll kind of fire. Well, you've gotten yourself out of a good congruent position. And where we want to be is toes over or knees over the toe the whole time, no matter what. So when I step, I want to create torsion on this hip, stable foot. I'm not going to allow this to collapse as I move, but I'm going to push right here through the midfoot, the whole heel, the midfoot, that big toe. I'm going to move here where my knee ends up in line with my toe. I've created the same box, control the band, come back into the same position. What I never want to see is we collapse, land on the midfoot, or when we even reach, we don't want to reach with the foot, collapse down, or collapse on the trail end. We want to maintain that box the entire time. That way the glute stays active no matter what. We have a stable hip, and after just a few good reps, you'll be lit up. You won't need to do a ton of them. That should hopefully transfer to number one, just motor learning, that feeling of creating that torsion when you squat, when you lunge, but it should also strengthen those muscles and help you get into that, have a better ability to push out hard from that hip, really activate that hip, so that when you get to a bottom of a squat, you're not collapsing in on your ankles, collapsing in on your knees. You're able to create that same position, that same paradigm, and open up with a good arch, push the hips out, and sit nice and tall into the hip.